So in this video, I want to talk about where Fresno State is after the bye week. And if you have any disagreements, please feel free to comment them. All right, or where you think the Dogs are. The Bulldogs are 4-1, and that's good. They are 1-0 conference. It's not a bad place to be. Ask Air Force. They are 0-3. They are already out of it. They also have a habit of playing games and winning them. Out of the 5 games they've played so far, only 2 of them that were close, Bulldogs won, and they're 2-1 in blowouts. So, outside the game at Kansas. And I think if you play that game again, I'm not saying the Bulldogs win it, but I'd like to think that they would perform better, if only because they have more cohesion. But that being said, your record is what it is, and they're 4-1. So where are the Bulldogs at that? Well, we know that they are a first team. That's very evident. Hawaii sold out to sell the run at the Islands in the last home game. I cannot imagine that the Bulldogs are going to do anything much different. I think that what you see with Fresno State is what you're going to get. The passing game right now, as I said in other videos, does not frighten anyone. E.J. Warner for the year has 5 passing touchdowns, so 5 interceptions. Not terrible, but again, not something that scares other teams. While the Bulldog rushers have 8 touchdowns on the year. Donaldson has 3 touchdowns on the year. He's averaging 66 yards a game. 5 yards per average, 3 touchdowns. Speedy Luke has averaging 5 touchdowns. He's averaging 5.7. Gilliam is 5.9, and so forth. One of the things the Bulldog rushing game has really been good at this year is spreading the ball. It's not just one straight running back. It is the whole group, and that is where you are going to see the Bulldogs they're going to live or die out in that run game. If they can't run the ball, they're going to need to get turnovers. If they don't get turnovers in the Hawaiian game, they lose. All right, that really was the flaw of the Warriors' game plan. They were fine, as I said before, if E.J. Warner passing. That's fine with them. If you stop the Bulldogs' run game, they have problems. And I'd like to see some way, somehow, that change. Now, how that involved, that's what they should obviously win the game, but you should see that with the bye week, with hopefully at the very minimum getting your tight ends involved. Richie Anderson has 2 touchdowns passing-wise. If nothing else, if they're not going to pass the ball deep, if they're going to have trouble doing that, then at very minimum they need to get the tight ends involved more. They cannot I am really worried about this. I ask most Bulldog fans, in most seasons, they lose either this upcoming game against Nevada or next week at Colorado State. I'm not going to preview Colorado State this week for obvious reasons, but I had that one as a loss at the beginning of the year, and I don't really care how bad the Rams are. I haven't changed my mind about how I feel about them. All right. So Lynch, he's either really good or really consistent. He's good on he struggles on the he's 1 for 2 on 40 for 49 on the year. He's 0 for 2 on 50 plus. He seems okay on he's hitting 6 to 10 for the season, 60%. On the 20 for 29, he's 3 or 4. He's perfectly 30 and 40, and that's really where you want him to be. I don't think he's as bad as that last game showed. I think that has a lot to do with the Island voodoo. On the defensive side, Thunderbird, Pearson, Brocker, the guys you expect are the ones that are leading with the tackles. Pearson has 42 total by himself. Thunderbird has 22 tackles and so forth. So I'm pretty happy with how the defense has progressed, all right? And I saw how they performed against Hawaii, who I don't think there's a better passing game against the Mountain West. I think Hawaii is going to look really good. We saw how they took care of Air Force, and that's a tough team to play, especially at their place. So the defense, I believe, will shape up very nicely as the year continues. Now, is it good enough to win the gauntlet of Boise, San Diego State, and Utah State, which are the toughest teams on paper outside of UNLV, and the Bulldogs play all of them? Granted, 2 out of 3 are at home. Even if they get past Colorado State, you have to say the Bulldogs at least trip up one of them, as it stands right now. But we'll see how they look. There's certainly all winnable games for Fresno State, certainly. But I think at the very least you can't expect a perfect run for the conference. So that's where you look for things to trip up. So the Bulldogs are where they want to be right now. They're 4-1, but they still have a lot of work, and we gotta see. To me, if they get past this undefeated, that's when you can start talking special. Because not only are bowl eligible, but a lot of Bulldog teams in the past lose either this weekend or next weekend. Now, I also want to briefly talk about Aaron Judge. I want to read you some Aaron Judge's statistics. He led the MLB in batting average, had 53 home runs, 114 RBIs, led all Major League Baseball with 36 intentional walks. In fact, that's more than a lot of teams. He led with on-base percentage, slugging, OPS, WAR. I mean, any way you measure it, you'd think this guy is the MVP. The Seattle catcher, though, I think will probably get it for 2 reasons. One, the media loves his nickname, Big Dumper. It's stupid. It's about his big butt, but whatever. All right, and people are saying to themselves, well, Judge, people are numb to how great Aaron Judge is. And I think the voters are going to say to themselves, well, the Seattle catcher, this is probably going to be his one great year. Let's give it to him. Judge, he'll win multiple other MVPs. He'll keep doing this. He'll win more MVPs. This is probably a one-hit wonder for the Seattle guy. Let him have it. So, does Judge deserve the MVP? Yes. And I'm sure I'll get hate from any Dodgers fans down here, but I believe he's the best player in the game. And when you're the best player, sometimes people are numb to your greatness. Right? It reminds me of Steph Curry at his best, or LeBron James, or Kobe Bryant. People just got numb to how great those players were in basketball. All right. In football, I think there's way too much quarterback overhype, but definitely for baseball, Mike Trout won MVPs, and God knows how many with the Angels. People just stopped giving it to him because the Angels suck, but also because people just got numb to how great he is. I don't think Shohei will get there because he's Japanese. Media loves that. He also has literally done stuff since Babe Ruth. But Aaron, he's finding that numb factor. He's finding that people are used to him being great. And that's going to be tough for him. Which, if you're a Fresno State fan, if you don't got a particular baseball team right now, Ren, I know you might hate the Yankees, but you want Judge to be as great as possible. It's great for your baseball program. But, I don't think he's going to get it, but hopefully he does. And if he does, the Fresno State baseball program needs to put down near giant posters of him around the ballpark. How hard can that do? Come on, people. Advertise the most famous baseball player in the world outside of Shohei Ohtani went to Fresno State. NIL money can't buy that. All right, I'll make a video on Nevada in a couple days. Talk about that game. But for now, go Dogs.